Okay, fine. So let us start with this concept here. Yesterday, we tried to create a partitions. We formatted the partitions and we mounted the partitions. Okay. So let me go to this history of this mount commands. Uh, you can see it here from this you can find it out. This is the command which I used to format SDS7 partition with the ext2 file system. This one SDA8 partition with the ext3 file system, SDA9 with the ext4 file system. Okay, and later we created these directories for the mount points, and we have used these commands to mount. Okay, so mount, I'll just copy it. Then the similar way, mount /0/SDA8 mount /0/SDA9/9. Okay, so from this we can find it out that SDS7 is mounted on this partition, SDS that is 7, SDA8 is mounted on this partition, sorry, file mount point 8, SDA9 is mounted on this partition, this mount point 9. So for this file system here, we need to have 2 points to be noted. Those are, for file system, we have 2 files. One is /etc/mtab and the second one is /etc/fstab. So mtab, this mtab, especially when you mount any partition, that information is updated in this file, and the content of this file is temporary. The content of this file is temporary. And if you mount a partition here permanently, but on temporary, if you reboot, that is gone. But if you want to make it permanent, then we need to update in this file, that is /etc/fstab. Settings. 2 files are related to this file system concept. Those 2 files are, one is /etc/mtab. Mtab stands for mount table, and /fstab. Fstab stands for file system table. The content of these file systems are temporary, and the contents of ftab is permanent. Let me show you what does it mean. See this one here. I have mounted 3 partitions right now. What the 3 partitions are? SDS7, 8, and 9. So when you have these 3 partitions, when you go for this cat, I want to read the file mtab/etc/mtab. When you read this file, from there you can find it out. You can see this. SDS7 is mounted, SDA8 is mounted, SDA9 is mounted. But what I told, the content of this mtab is temporary system. Then what happens? All these entries will be lost. Okay. If you want to make it permanent, then we need to edit one file. The file is /etc/fstab. Okay. You can see it here. I have read this file /etc/mtab with cat command. By using cat, we can read the file. But if you want to make any modifications, that we need to do it by using VI. So VI stands for Visual Editor, VI/fstab. When you go for this file /etc/fstab, in this fstab, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields to be inserted. So for fstab consists of 6 fields. What are the 6 fields? What are the importance of the 6 fields? I'll tell you one by one. Let me come down. Escape O, escape by insert mode. Now, the first field is going to specify the amount, the partition type. For example, /0/SDA7. Okay. And the second field is mount point. What the mount point for this partition is 7. And third point is file system type. File system type is, for my SDA7, the file system type is ext2. And this fourth field is defaults, means a default permissions. And the fifth field, this is used for dump, and sixth field, that is used for FSCK. I'll tell you what the importance of these 6 fields are. Okay, so let me move this aside and let me check from here and check it out what the importance of the 6 fields are. Okay, now from this, the first field, what the first field is, partition. First field is partition. So what the partition is, so as per the example here, from here, the partition, what a partition I'm mounting is DS7. So you can see that first partition means the partition that we are about to mount, that is /dev/sds7. Or if you want to go for the second one, that is /dev/sda8. Or what the third one is, like your /dev/sda9, like this. This is the first field. And what a second field is, mount point. Second field is mount point. So if you want to find it out from here, from this example, you can see this. This is the mount point. Okay. So for SDS7, what the mount point I'm using here? The mount point is /7. So this is the directory to which we can read the data into from the partition, or we can write the data into the partition. And third field is file system type. So file system type. So when you go for this file system type, you can see it here for SDS7. What are the file system type you have used as ext2, for SDA8 ext3, for SDA9 ext4. You can specify the file system type here. So what the file system type can be, it can be either ext2 or ext3 or ext4, like this. Then a fourth field. So what the fourth field is? The fourth field is nothing but a defaults. Defaults in the sense the type of permissions. For example, we are executing this command to mount a file system. Who can execute this command? Do you want to give permission to a specific user, or do you want to give to everyone? Every partitions we can mount with permissions. For example, users, do you want to give read permissions or read-only permissions? To which user you want to give full permissions, and to which user you want to give less permissions? All those things we can specify in this fourth field. When you go for defaults here, defaults means like a default permission for everyone. That means everyone can mount it, everyone can read the data, everyone can write the data, right? And yeah. And the fifth field stands for dump. Dump in the sense means, for example, like when you're bringing up your system here, for example, when you're booting up a system, do you want to take a backup of your file system? Yes or no? If whether we want to take a backup of a file system, yes or no, we have two options. Zero means like a no backup, and where one means like a backup. So do you want to take a backup, or do you do if you don't want to take a backup? It's your option. So zero means no backup, whereas one means backup. So if you check it out here, especially for the important file systems, this is root partition. For root partition, I given as 1, means I want to take a backup. Why? Because it's very important. For this /opt, I given 1. See, for all the OS related file systems, I'll give it as 1. And for user defined file system where user data is saved, I don't want that much of backup here. I can give it as 0, means no need of backup. So in this example, a /dev/sds7, this is the mount point, this is the file system type, permissions, and default that I have given as 0, means don't take a backup of it. If you want to take a backup, keep it as 1. Okay. And fifth, when come to the sixth field, sixth field stands for FSCK. FSCK means a file system checking. FSCK means file system checking. Here we can go for 3 options, 0, 1, and 2. We have 3 options, 0, 1, and 2. FSCK means file system checking. For example, If you're not feeling well, you go to your doctor. You go to your doctor. The doctor will check you. In a similar way, if there is something wrong in a file system, if something corrupted in the file system, if you want to repair that, we need to run FSCK. And to run FSCK, we have three options here. That is zero. Zero means don't run FSCK. I don't want FSCK to run this file system. Why? Because every time when you're booting a system, if you're booting a system, if keeps on running FSCK in all the file systems, then what happens? The system performance slow. Means it takes a lot of time for the system to come up. Okay. So if you keep it as one, for example, a root file system, this is very important for me. So I keep it as one. Yes, run FSCK on this one. Okay. The first priority is one. And second thing, after this is successful, then execute on this number two. Okay. So execute FSCK in all these three also. So the thing is, we have three options here: 0, 1, and 2. 0 means don't run FSCK. No need. 1 means my most important priority. First run FSCK on this one. And once this is done, then go for options. So run FSCK on the file systems which are specified with option 2. Okay. So what is FSCK means? A file system checking. Now, based on this here, I have 6 fields and all the 6 fields are updated in this particular partition in this file system tab. So the first field is the partition /sds7. Second field is mount point. And the third field is file system type. Fourth field is defaults in the type of permissions. Fifth field is dump. 0 means I no need of dump. 1 means I require dump. Sixth field is FSCK. Now, along with this, let me insert one more line here for your clarification. Escape right. Now, I like to mount SDA9 permission /dev/SDA9 partition. For SDA9, what the mount point is 9, what the file system type is ext4. So you can see from previous example here, you can see this SDA9 formatted with what file system ext4. And for SDA9, what the mount point I'm using 9. So 9 is my mount point. File system type is ext4 and the permissions are defaults. I don't want dump, but I want FSCK 2. Okay, so run FSCK, but option is 2. But actually for user defined file system, we don't require this. So let me save the file and exit. WQ exclamation. Okay, now let me give you a clear clarification. I have two files f/etc/mtab and cat/etc/fs tab. Okay, in this mtab, I have entries of SDS7, 8, and 9. Okay. Whereas in FS tab, I have entries of 7 and 9. So out of this 7, 8, and 9, how many are permanent? Only 7 and 9 are permanent. 8 is not permanent. Why? Because we have not made any entry. Okay. As I said, fields of mtab are temporary. In this mtab, the fields are populated automatically. And the fields of FS tab are permanent. In this, the fields we have to update them manually. We have updated just now. Now you can see it here, umount --a. When you go for umount --a, it is used to unmount all the user defined file system, not system defined, like root /usr/opt/var. All those are your system defined file systems. So when you go for umount --a, then what happens? It unmounts all the user defined file systems, not system defined. Let us check it out. df --h. df means display file system. See, we have root mounted, usr mounted, /var mounted. But where is /7? Gone. 8 gone. 9 gone. Why? Because there's a user defined file system. Let me check that file. Cat cat slash etc slash mtab. You can see SDS 789 our entries are gone. Okay, but we have those entries in one more file, in which file we have slash etc slash fs tab. In fs tab we have 7 and 9 entries. So what can you do now? You can use this command like mount space hyphen a. So mount space hyphen a, it reads the file slash etc slash fs tab. So whatever entries you have in fs tab will be mounted ds space hyphen h. You can see it here. 7 is back and 9 is back, but not 8. Why? Why? Because 8 is only temporary, whereas 7 and 9 are permanent. Now cat slash etc slash mtab. See this? 7 and 9 are populated automatically. Why? Because when you go for this mount command, when you go for this mount slash fs tab, it reads the file from this command ds space hyphen h. From ds space hyphen h, whatever the output you have from there, that will be updated in slash etc slash mtab. Okay. Now you can see it here. My SDI 8 is not mounted. Mount slash do slash SDI 8 on slash 8. Clear? ds space hyphen h now. Yes, even now 8 is also mounted. I've mounted that manually. So cat slash etc slash mtab. What do you have here? I have 7, 8, and 9, and cat slash etc slash fs tab. I have like only 7 and 9. Here I have 7, 8, and 9, but here I have only 7 and 9. So again, clarification. Umount space hyphen a. What this umount space hyphen a will do? It will unmount all the file systems by reading the file slash etc slash mtab. Okay, let us check it out. Cat slash etc slash mtab umount space hyphen a. This umount space hyphen a command will read this file slash slash mtab. In this mtab, what are the entries we have? We have 7, 8, and 9. So it will read 7, 8, and 9, and it will unmount them. It will unmount them. Let us check it out. ds space hyphen h. Where is 7? No. 8? No. 9? No. Right? Then if you go for this command here, mount space hyphen a, what is mount space hyphen a will do? It will read the file slash etc slash fs tab, and from there it reads and mounts that. You can see 7 and 9 are back. So this is the way in which you can make a file system permanent. Especially when you go for interview, they will ask you what are that, how many fields do you have in this fs tab, what are they, and what are the importance of each and every field like this. So we need to explain all the 6 fields along with their importance of each and every field with their respective options. And one more thing now here, we have for look FSCK. I've given one option here, like in 6th field, that FSCK. FSCK stands for file system checking. Means, for example, ds space hyphen h. You can see it here. I have this partition SDA9. This is not behaving fine. It has some problem with the file system. So if you have a problem with the file system, we need to check it out. So if you want to check it out why it is not behaving fine, that we can use this option called FSCK. But FSCK should be run on only unmounted file system first. Umount mount /9 unmount it, and then we need to run FSCK like this, FSCK /do/sdn9. So when you go for FSCK here, you can see it here, FSCK utility into FSCK sds/do/sdn9 is clean. What is saying that? It is clean. If you have any errors, it will fix up the errors and it will show you clearly. And if you have any errors there, it will fix up automatically. No need to do anything for yourself here. That will fix up automatically. if you go for this command, we need to be very careful. If you go for only FSCK, then what is FSCK will do? FSCK will do all this on all the file systems. So don't run this FSCK blindly. Specify the file system on which it has to run and run that particular file system only. Okay. Now, so we have discussed about these file systems, the types of file systems, how to create them, format them, mount them, and everything. Now in my system here, fdisk space -l, if you fdisk means find disk -l, I have only one disk here. What the disk is SDA. If you want, you can add multiple disks also to the system. Okay, let me check it out. How to add multiple disks to my system here. I'll go for this virtual machine settings. Okay, hard disk, and I want to add one hard disk. Next, what type of hard disk? SCSI. Next, the size at 10 GB is fine for me. Next, and finish. Right? If you go for this hard disk, you can see I have two hard disks now here. One is 60 GB, second one is 10 GB. Okay. Now, when you add any new hard disk to your system, if you want to recognize that particular hard disk here, 1 minute, cd space /dev. When you go for ls here, you from this here, you can see it here like I have one disk here, SDA. In this disk, we have created partitions. Where the partitions are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So when you connect any device, that device gets identified here. But the thing is, we have just added the device. The device is only on still on your RAM content of a RAM. It's not updated to the system. So if you want to update to the system here, either we need to reboot the system, otherwise we can execute this command called rescan. So when you execute this command here, rescan -SCSI bus sh here, what it will do, it will scan my system. If something is there in your virtual memory here, memory that is updated to the system kernel. So it will update, it will read everything here and it will updates to the system here. So this is how you can scan a new LUNs which are connected to the system. Okay, let me check it out now here. fdisk space -l. Wow, I have a second disk now. One is SDA, what the second one is STB. Let me add it one more time. Right click, settings, hard disk, and next SCSI. Next, like to add same 10 GB hard disk. Next, finish. Okay. As of now, how many disks are there? Two disks. One is SDA, second one is SDB. Okay. So if you want to identify the new disk, we need to scan it. What the command is? Rescan. See here. I don't remember the entire path. The beauty of the Linux is like this. First, give first 3 characters and press tab key. When you press tab key, it will run automatically like this one. When you press the tab key, the key runs automatically so that when you execute the command here, it will scan the devices. See there? From this, you can find it out. It is scanning the device, and from this, we can identify the newly added device. Not only this, we have a different commands also for scanning. It's very one of the important topic for you when you work in environment. Why? Because sometimes if there's file system problem here, they'll ask to add the disk. So I have this space -l. You can see it here. SDA, SDB, and this is SDC. 3 disks. I need one more. Let me add one more also. Settings. I'm adding same equals as this here. Why? Because to explain a new concept for you for tomorrow's session, it will be very useful for me. Okay. Then scan. 1 minute. Log. Okay. The thing is, especially when you completed of scanning, when you go for tail, this is tail means it will treat the last 10 line files of the file. This is the file I'm reading. Where log messages, where means variant, log means the messages where you want to say the messages. You can see it here from here, like a hard resetting link, status link, as this from new disk has been added. This is the controller numbers of the disk, everything. I will show them in the future classes. Fdisk space -l. You can see it here. I have three new disks: SDB, SDC, and SGD. Where are these? All these are in /dev device. Now, let me give you one clarification here. /do space -h. I have this partition called SDS7. Let me use this mount space -a, /do space -h. Take this 9 for your easy clarification. I have this partition SDA9. What the size of the partition is? 2 GB. What the mount point is? 9. Now what I'll do, I'll go to this partition mount point called 9, and I'll keep on creating data. Touch G, H, I, J, K, L. I'll keep on writing the data. When you keep on writing the data into this mount point here, where the data is saved, the data is saved in this partition. What the partition is? SDA9. How much data can you write here? When you keep on writing, you can write the data up to this size. You can see it available size. What available size is? 1.9 GB. We can write the data up to 1.9 GB. But my client said his data is 4 GB size. What the data his size is? 4 GB. After writing 2 GB data into this partition, the data partition will be filled up. The client said his data size is 4 GB. You cannot write 4 GB into this 2 GB partition. Okay. And one more thing is, these partitions cannot be resized. We cannot resize them. That is fixed. This is called physical disk restrictions. On the partitions, we have physical disk restrictions. Physical disk restrictions means we cannot increase the size of the partition. There's a limitation of this partition. Okay, we cannot increase the size or we cannot decrease the size. So if you want to increase the size, for example, if you want to increase the size, it's not possible. Okay, no problem. If you have an option of increase the size here, how much size can you increase? This SDA9 partition is in the disk SDA. When you go for fdisk space -l, you can see it here. What is my SDA? The maximum size of my SDA disk is 64 GB. My client said his data is 80 GB. Can you write 80 GB into the 64 GB? It's not possible. Okay. The point is, on these physical partitions or on physical disks, you can check it out here. This is also physical disk. What the size is? 10 GB. The maximum data, how much can you write? 10 GB. Right? We cannot write more than 10 GB. This is physical disk restrictions. So if you want to overcome these physical disk restrictions here, we have one more concept that is called as LVM. We call as logical volume manager. So what the purpose of this logical volume manager is, we can club all these physical disks and create one volume. For example, imagine that In this disk, you can write only 10 GB. I have 15 GB of data. Then what can I do? I cannot write. So what can I do? If I club these two, SDA and SDB and SDC, if you club these two, what the size will be? 21 GB. In this 21 GB, can you write 15 GB? Yes. If you club these three, B, C, D, like this, what the size is? 31 GB. Can you write 20 GB into 31 GB? Yes, we can. So if you want to add multiple disks into single volume, that is called as LVM. Okay. So what is this LVM? What are the advantages of this LVM? And for this LVM also we have few disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? All these things we'll be discussing in tomorrow's session. Okay. Now, tell me like if you have any queries and questions on this.